no one cares about Epstein files more than MAGA does. So they're not going to get distracted and be like, oh, it's mean old Democrats. No, they want the files. Nothing else is going to satisfy them. And God bless them for it. And I called out Biden for not releasing the files. You're right about that. I said the minute, look, when he died and we got that news, I said on the Young Turks, if the camera in the hallway is working, then it was a suicide. If the camera in the hallway wasn't working, then they killed him. And so at this point, you'd really have to be a sucker to think that he hung himself and that there are thousands of girls got raped, but no one raped them. This is all nonsense. And now Trump is compromised, and it's obvious that he's compromised, and his own base knows it.
Come on.
Yeah, it's super obvious.
I was with you until that. Batya, tell me why Cenk's wrong.
Thank you so much for having me on the fairest show on television, Leland. Great to be here with you and Cenk. I just kind of don't buy any of this narrative. As a very famous American writer once said, you know, reports of the demise of the MAGA coalition are greatly exaggerated. I don't think MAGA cares about this. I think the MAGA influencers care about this because for years they created content and made money off of stoking this conspiracy theory. But I've been polling just, you know, normie MAGA voters, supporters of the president for a week now. Nobody cares about this. It's just so not a political live wire at all. And even within the MAGA influencer set, you have really substantive, kind, vigorous, but respectful debates like Ben Shapiro and Megyn Kelly had last night. You know, people are talking about it, but even amongst the MAGA set that is so allegedly exercised about this, you just aren't seeing like people who are, I'm now going to vote for the Democrats because Donald Trump didn't release the Epstein files. So I just think this is kind of a tempest in a teacup.
Yeah, no, that's all definitely wrong. Trump's polling will crater, and you'll see he in the next set of polls, he has lost a lot of Republican support. So we'll get to see who's right and who's wrong. So look, guys, you can't call this a conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is that hundreds, maybe over 1,000 girls raped themselves. That's a lunatic conspiracy theory. Trump said that the files don't exist. Then he said the files are fake and written by Obama and Biden. So which one is it? Are they fake or do they not exist? So who raped the girls? Who raped the girls? No, right. Oh, the government says under both Democrats and Republicans. Oh, no, we're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you. There's obviously something that they think they can't tell us. Why can't they tell us? Either because leaders in both parties are deeply, deeply implicated, or an intelligence agency, either CIA or Mossad, is deeply implicated, or they did it. They flat out did it. Those are your only two answers.
Well, it's interesting, right, Cenk? It's interesting, though, that you have something, and we put that poll up, and I think it's important, right? 79% of all voters want the Epstein files released. 80+% of Trump voters say they want the Epstein files released. That's a big part of America. You can't get 83% of Americans to agree that fluffy puppies are cute. And to that point, you now have something that both parties had the opportunity to do. And I'm as cynical as it can be. If this was terrible for Republicans and not bad for Democrats, Biden would have released it. If this was terrible for Democrats and not bad for Republicans, then Trump would have released it. I think what we're probably all saying here is there are things in these files that maybe it's guilt by association, maybe it's simply names of people that were investigated and did nothing wrong, but that both sides are really not looking forward to having the most powerful among them answer uncomfortable questions, right, Batya?
Oh, is that for me? Look, when you say the Epstein files, there is like tons and tons and tons of footage of Epstein himself raping children, having sex with underage people, right? Like, I don't want that released. That shouldn't be.
Hold on, Batya. We gotta be fair about this. Hold on, Batya. We gotta be fair about this. There is the financial files. There is the records of who gave Epstein money to manage, even though he's a terrible money manager. Why? His emails, who he had phone calls with, who he traded favors with. That's not, oh, we can't release videos.
Thank you for finishing the list that I was starting, Leland. So, you know, when you talk about the Epstein files, there are many different aspects to that. There are certainly aspects of it that I think every good human being would not want released. Like that you know, all of the pornography of children, we don't want that released.
Nope.
He also kept lots of files that Ghislaine Maxwell helped organize, which were his Rolodex, his list of people that he had business relations with. Now, the problem is if some of those people did not commit any crimes, and you are releasing a trove of documents in which their names appear as his associates, that is going to be unbelievably damaging to people who in many cases did absolutely think wrong. I just don't.
That is the argument we're hearing. That's really the core of the argument from Trump. So, Cenk, why is it nonsense?
So first of all, I could redact those documents in a week. Okay, so what? It's taken them a decade, 2 decades to redact documents? Garbage, total garbage. So here's the bottom line, guys. At a bare minimum, hundreds of underage American girls were raped, and no one has been prosecuted.
Ghislaine Maxwell. The only person who's in jail. The only person who's in jail is a woman.
The only person
in jail is a woman. Prosecutor is a woman. It's absurd. It's absurd.
One is in prison and one is dead. I mean, like.
Oh, so you think it was just Maxwell and Epstein? You know what's super weird? You know what's super weird? There was this wild theory out there. In the beginning, I thought it was a wild theory that maybe it wasn't that it was Clinton and Trump on the list, et cetera, that maybe it was the intelligence agencies. And then somebody said Mossad. I said, really? Maybe CIA, but why Mossad? Now, every Israeli supporter is like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Let's just move on. Let's move on. I mean, we can't show any of the evidence. Now I'm beginning to think, wait, was it Mossad? Because and Benjamin Netanyahu comes to town, all of a sudden they put out a statement. No, there's nothing in the Epstein files.
Israel got out of this guy. Like,
hold on. We can debate the Epstein files all night long. We can debate them. I think it's a fascinating story, but I want to get back to the politics of it. I'm going to give Batya the last word and a quick one on this. Of all people, Kevin Spacey released the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. Kevin Spacey's got some other problems, I might say, before the Jeffrey Epstein files. But I think, Batya, I'm going to go back to being beyond cynical. If we just look at this politically, nothing rallies MAGA around Donald Trump like Democrats attacking him. I know why Democrats are doing this. I think it's going to backfire. You get the last word.
I mean, everybody was saying, you know, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, oh, look, he bombed Iran. This is the end. The same characters, you know, the Tucker Carlson agreeing with the Cenk Uygur. Oh, he's going to lose all his support. It's all nonsense. These people do not understand the Trump voter. This is not going to matter at all.
Now that you name check Cenk, I got to give him the last 15 seconds. Go.
The more Batya talks, the more I think it's Israel.
Oh God!
No, it's not. Oh God! Why is that a wrong theory? AIPAC controls Congress. Are you guys being lunatic?
Really lose control of the show.
Okay,
this is a different. Guys, this is a different segment. Different segment. We will have you back. Different segment. Different segment.
Racism. Like, it's Israel because I'm Jewish. What are you talking about?
Guys, thank you.
It's Israel.
Thank you both. Cenk, important question. Batya, it's not Israel. I will talk to you guys both later. Thank you. A new poll shows Democrats favor.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.